Hi, Class Tube. It has been a while. I took an unexpected hiatus, partly because my stitchy bug is a tart and it left. Part of that had to do with being pretty busy. The last video that I uploaded, I looked and it was about 2 weeks after we got back from vacation. And a lot's happened since then, but there was a lot like to keep me continually doing something else until now. My nephew was born, we went on vacation. When we came back the next month, we had our 10-year wedding anniversary. 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks after that, a week and a half maybe, my grandpa passed away. I made it to 32 before I lost a grandparent, and to me, that's pretty good considering that I grew up with friends who had lost their grandparents in grade school. And he had stage 4 Parkinson's when he passed, and people don't actually know, a lot of people really don't know that Parkinson's comes in stages. Stage 4, similar to cancer. Stage 4 as far as the level of badness. So it was a struggle. I only saw him in the nursing home once, and then during the holidays. And let's just say he was a full he was close to 6 feet. I mean, he wasn't super tall, but he was probably 5'12" or something like that, and probably 225 pounds, and when he passed away he was 90 pounds. So it was a battle for him, and really I hope this comes across the way that I wanted to, but it wasn't as hard to lose a grandparent as it was to watch a parent lose a parent. So so that happened, and then it just seemed like after that I didn't really stitch, and you'll kind of see that in my progress because I've worked on one project in 4 months, and part of that has to do with the fact that I started a journal because I am a numbers girl and I love stats, but I'm also task driven. So sorry, I got real close and that was probably really loud. I like to see progress, but I also like to see things get done. And I had kind of gone the way of having a lot of, okay, when I say a lot, I mean like 10 whips. And I have a whole list of things that I would like to start, and this is probably part of the reason why things went south. I started a list, and these are just the patterns that I have started. No, okay. So I haven't started these two right here, Brooks Books and Beauty. And I couldn't even get one of them off of the list. And that was, I started keeping track of how many stitches I got in a day in April. So you can see after my last video, I started keeping track. Did pretty good on the second, but literally every day after that was ridiculous. Like 17 stitches. Do you know how long it would take to do a Haid with 17 stitches? And I just got very defeatist, if I'm being honest. And I'm 32 now. And I probably have enough stash to outlive, or to go past my life expectancy, basically. And so I just, I don't know. Once you start going down that road of thought, it's not fun anymore. And it took me a few months to get out of my own head. So I did that. I plugged away and plugged away. And it's been a crappy week at work, and I wanted to film this last night, Thursday. But the gods were against me. The floss tube gods were like, no, today is not the day. I had some pretty childish crap go down at work last night, or yesterday. And so my mindset was not in the right place. And I was going to film this floss tube video anyway because I wanted to do it Wednesday night, and I didn't because my husband was home, and I don't like to film when he's home. Not because he wouldn't let me, but because I feel like I'm talking to nobody. And in a way, I kind of am right now. And it just feels really weird. When I'm by myself, it's not so weird. Because I have conversations in my head all the time. They just stay up there. But, so I didn't film Wednesday night because he was home. And then Thursday night I was like, oh, I'm doing it. I don't care. I don't care that I'm not in the best of moods. And I came home to film and I threw it away, so I can't show you. But I put my phone in my little tripod thingy, and it was only like 15 bucks on Amazon, so let's not kid ourselves. It was no big investment. And it exploded. It just, like, my phone started going this way, and then the bottom popped out, and I was like, ho, okay. Then I spent 20 minutes trying to figure out how to improvise where we could be on, like, eye level, where you weren't, like, looking up at my face, and I wasn't, like, looking down at you. Finally figured it out, but guess what? My husband he got home during that time frame. So, and I guarantee you, YouTube is gonna pick that clip to go up because it sucks and it hates me. And then tonight I came home and I was like, I don't even know how to do this anymore. It's been 4 months. I don't know what to do. It's not been quite 4 months, but anyway, you get the point. How do I do this? How do I start? And then I fiddled and stared at the camera and was like, oh. So finally I just started. I had tried to do, no, sorry. I'm still not used to where everything is. I was trying to get notes ready for, or at least to see my previous notes so I could look and see the way that I used to do things. I could have just watched my video, but then that would have taken more time. Then I got my notebook where I used to keep my notes, and apparently I took those out and shredded those too. Not going so hot, let me tell you. So I am not even going to do the transition-y cards because I'm going to try to keep this simple. I don't have time, and I don't, that nobody expects it. This was all on me. I don't have time to sit and do like the full edit and making everything pretty or this, that, and the other. It takes away from stitching time. And it was already hard enough to get stitching time in. And I'm sure you guys understand that. So, first things first, I will show you the progress that I had with my whip. See? I don't even know where crap is. I used to be so organized. And my progress is a finish. Yes, I'm very excited. It's the only thing that I worked on in the 4 months since I've been gone. But I finished a can't English very well either. Woodland Creature Sampler from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. Now, this is my oldest whip. There's a love-hate relationship with this. I hate these deer. I hate them, I hate them, I hate them. They're adorable, so that makes me feel a little bit sadistic. This was my learning 2/2 piece. Before this project, I had only ever stitched on Aida, and there is nothing wrong with only stitching on Aida, but I wanted to try my hand at even weave and stitching 2/2. I had been curious about it. So I ordered the pattern, was gonna do it 2/2. Everything was gonna be great. After all, it's just counting, and I do bookkeeping for a living. Different kind of counting, still counting. Oh, I messed up those deer so many times. So many times. For people who say that 2/2 is not hard, it's not when you've been doing it for a while. It is incredibly difficult when you start. Just gonna be honest. It was worth it. It was worth learning. I love it because I hate quarter stitches and half stitches on like Aida count, or what this would be if it were 1/1. I hated splitting those threads to make those quarter stitches, and with 2/2 you don't have that. So I learned how to do 2/2 with those stinking deer, and by the way, they're right, and if they're not right and you see it, I don't want to hear it. Please don't tell me. And then in the February square was my first rodeo with DMC Sparkle Floss. Now, I haven't stitched with Kreinik. I have stitched with Petite Treasure Braid. DMC floss is a nightmare. And at first, or even here recently, I was like, it's not that bad. It's not that bad to stitch with, but getting the plies to separate, you can break the metallic part of the thread. It's like, it has like string and then metallic around it. And like last night when I was working on the bottom piece, I actually broke the metallic thread, and then it ended up doing this like under the fabric, just gathering as I was pulling through the string. It's awful. It's not so bad if you're working with it. If you do the loop start method, you can bring the loops together, tie a knot, and then thread the needle from the other end so that you're not dealing with the two loose ends. You've just got one loop, and it also stays threaded that way through the needle. Once I learned that trick, that was fine, but I still had problems with the metallic threads snapping in the middle. So 2/2, DMC, sparkle floss, and then after that it started to get a little bit easier, though we still had some miscounts. Oh my god, guys, those dandelions, I miscounted those so many times on 2/2. But after that, things got a little easier. I had a problem with the September block because I didn't go over far enough with my border, so I kept miscounting there. And I love that October owl. I think he's just adorable. And then more sparkle floss in November, which wouldn't have been so bad, except for that it was literally all over that branch and then all over the back. The back of my fabric for my stitching. I'm not going to show you, but I also don't care, so there's that. And then December. December actually went fairly swiftly. I got that block done pretty quickly. Counted everything right, which is kind of a testament to this being my learning piece. It started out horribly. And then came December, and December went so fluidly. I was super happy with it. However, this guy, 3 times. Because I kept wanting to start it in this corner here instead of up here where it's supposed to be started. So and each time, it wasn't until I got to this snowflake, which was placed correctly, and then when the border didn't line up with it, that's when, or the banner, when the banner didn't line up with the snowflake, that's when I would know that I had messed up. So literally, I would stitch the 2017 in sparkle floss. Well, I would start over here with the teal in the banner, then I would do the sparkle floss across, and then I would come back in and fill in. 2 times I did this, and then realized that I hadn't been in the right place. So we started as we began, not being able to, well, I couldn't count in January and December, or in the 2017 banner. Oh, that's the other thing. I just was not paying attention, and that's on me. So in the pattern, it's actually charted for 2013 and 2014 because that was their, that was the year that this was released. And so I had to chart the 7, and I just did the 7 off of the 4, and that made it fairly easy, and it doesn't really want to focus, but that's okay. So this is my oldest whip. I started it, I believe it was November. It was November of 2013, and now it's finished. So yay, I put the last stitches in this morning, 7 minutes before I was supposed to go to work. So, and that's another thing that I stopped doing there for a long time. I didn't stitch in the morning. And I'm telling you, it makes a difference. Like, it settles me and gets me ready for work, and mentally, it relaxes me. I need to start doing it more. I did it the last 2 mornings, and it's made all the difference with not wanting to strangle people. So, plans, because that is the only whip that I have to show you. I'm gonna have a lot of firsts tonight, guys. Oh. I am taking a leaf out of Jessie Marie Does Stuff's book, and I am going to be working on the weekends that we're not out of the house, which is this weekend. Well, I'm going to my sister's tomorrow to see that baby nephew, who is adorable, by the way. I will have pictures next time. I'm not biased or anything. But, so like tonight, Friday night, and Sunday, maybe even Saturday night, depending on what time I get home. It's a few hours there and back, so depending on what time I get home and what kind of mood I'm in from driving. I may work on it Saturday night and definitely going to work on it Sunday. And that is my mini curl up with a good book. These are going to become my Haid weekends when we don't travel, because obviously I'm not going to take this with me. So like I said, Friday night, maybe tomorrow night, maybe well, no, definitely Sunday. Next week I'm not so sure. And then the weekend after that, the 29th, I'll stitch in the morning, but then we have a D&D night, so probably not much after 4 that night. But Sunday will be free game. And this is on the biggest Millennium frame that they have. It could have gone on the 3rd biggest that I ordered, but like the fabric came up over this part a little bit, and I wasn't real comfortable with that because I didn't know how it would go. If anybody has used, and this is a mini Haid, but I don't think it goes any wider. I don't think the fabric goes any wider. If you've used, well, no, maybe it does. Finish your sentences, Stephanie. If you have used a smaller Millennium and it comes up over this part a little bit, if it's still okay to use it that way, let me know, because if I can bring down the frame a little bit, I would like to do that. Then I also have the large frame adapter for the Lowry stand. It is the first time that I have ever used that, so first time with the biggest frames that I ordered, or that you can order, and then first time using the large frame adapter for my Lowry. And I feel like an idiot, but I didn't realize that I just kind of thought it just sat on it and held it so that you could flip it when you needed to get to the back of your work, and then I realized that the wing nuts on the back are actually so you can tighten the frame in. So it's in there pretty good. You can't really tell, but yeah, it's in there pretty good. So that's what I'm gonna do this weekend. Now, I haven't made like solid plans yet. That's part of my return to floss tube. I am a planner. I like to make to-do lists. Like I said, I like to see progress, and I was getting frustrated with my lack of progress earlier. Coaster's coming along for the ride. But also part of coming back is that I'm not going to shame myself. If I make plans and change those plans based on what I want to stitch, I'm not going to shame myself, and I'm not going to feel bad about it. Part of the whole stash to exceed life expectancy thing is that I enjoy what I'm doing. I'm not hurting anybody. I have pretty much put most of a stop to purchasing stuff. If I see something that I want, I'll order it. But there's always that thought in the back of my head now, do you really need this? Are you going to get to it? And if the answer is no, generally I can pass it up. But I'm not going to make myself feel bad about this. So if I say that I'm going to work on Lakeside Needlecraft Fantasy Stitch Along and I end up doing something else because that's what I want to do, I'm not going to feel bad about it. I'm not going to apologize for it. Not that you expect it, but it's the way that it used to be. And I can't keep doing that if I'm going to keep doing this. Stitching it all, not just floss tube. So what I want to do is I want to try, and you know, truth be told, I'm not real good about switching out projects every day or every other day. Hell, I didn't even do a very good job once a week. So I think I'll work on a project Monday through Friday, and then my Haid on the weekend, because like Jessie Marie, she was seeing some pretty good progress on her Haid, working on it on the weekends. And since I want to see progress, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do my Haids on the weekend, which I like to do, and then that way I can work on another project through the week, and then it switches it up enough that should be good. I had originally planned in my head to do the Lakeside Needlecraft Fantasy Stitch Along, because I have a lot of work to do on the border and those middle pieces. Not the circles, but the stuff around the circles. I have all of that to do, plus like 95% of the border, which has a lot of backstitch in it. So I was going to start to tackle that beast. And then maybe if I got the border done, by the time we got to September, I think, was the last one, then maybe I would go ahead and start doing the circles each month and then keep working on the border. But after finishing Woodland Creature Samplers and then spending a little bit of time in the X-Stitch app today, which not a lot because I don't have a lot going on in there, I thought I really want to work on the Hero of Times Square from The Legend of Zelda, which I don't even think I have out here. And I don't have a ton of progress anyway, but it's a little, I think the shop name is 14 Count on Etsy, and it's a square project. It's not huge. I think it would be a good offset to the Haid. I think that if I can see some progress both in a Haid, which is going to take me a good amount of time, and in some of my smaller projects, that'll be enough of a boost to keep me going. So those are just my plans. I don't know if I'm going to do these videos weekly, if I'm going to do it bi-weekly or monthly, but the thing of it is I want to be consistent in whatever it is I do. And they may just be short 15, 20, 30-minute videos. So, so I've done my whips, I've done my plans. The only haul that I do have a few neat little things. I had a friend who does not stitch at all send me a few gifty stitches. Yeah, did you hear what just happened there? Gifty stitches. What I really meant was stitchy gifts. This has been my week, people. It has been awful. And today I wasn't supposed to train as far as I knew, and then I was supposed to train and that didn't go well. I was not prepared. So, stitchy gifts. And some of them are pretty cool. 2 of them in particular. Most of it's just thread, and that's good, because as we know, and it's even DMC. So, good for her. I got like a whole, she sent this little box, and then she sent a bunch of DMC in there. I don't want to, bunch of DMC. And then she really liked these, the black, I don't even know what they're called, but it's E310, so it's the shiny black. And then she sent me some satins, or silks, I'm not sure which it is. But they're all DMC. I like that gray. And there's a red and the B5200. Is it 5200 or 2500? I always get this confused. 5200. And then a red silk. Then she sent me a pair of scissors, and I don't know if you can see. There we go, that's better. They're so pretty. These might go to work. I'm not sure. I can't wait to get to use them. And then a thread thingy. I don't know what the official term for this is, but the thread, you know, thread holder. And then corresponding needle minder. Just put that on the cart now. And then I think the coolest one is this. It is a little leather folio, and then you open it, maybe, there we go, and look at that, it's a needle case. I thought that was so cool. So cool. Can use this when I travel. There we go. Oh my god, maybe. There. Okay. So, that's part of the haul. That's the cool part of the haul. And then, I can't remember if I got when Moab of the Night for Stitchy Box went out, but I got that. And it was actually pretty cool. I got the whatever was available at the time, because I think it was only the Bling It Up and the Stitch It Up, I think. But I had whatever add-ons I could have, and then I canceled it because I felt bad, because, you know, it was like $50, and the products are worth it. Absolutely, they're worth it. But we were trying to make budget changes and things like that, and I thought, and yes, it's only every other month. And eventually that's what, so I canceled it, did it the 1 month, and then I canceled it because it was cool, but then my Stitchy Bug up and left. And it was like, do I really want to spend that much money when you're not even stitching? And again, back to the whole, are you ever going to use it? Naysayer. But I had also pre-ordered the countdown box for Patriotic Summer, or Patriotic Days, Halloween, and Christmas. Yeah, because I don't do anything in half measures, apparently. And I got the Patriotic box. And I love the countdown boxes. I am normally not a patient person. And I'm really surprised that I haven't opened them all. You know, I haven't. I have them all in order. You can't see past that, but they're all here. Even number 19, which is like this oddly shaped package. They're all still there. I love starting my morning opening up a Stitchy surprise. I love it. I would do it every other month. I don't think I could afford to do it every month. But it is so much fun. Some of my favorites. I don't have any of the beads that we've gotten. The beads are the little attachments that we've gotten, because I actually organized those all last night because I was too mad to stitch. So, we got a little thingy of E600 in one of them, 6,000. I swear to God, I'm a really good bookkeeper. I just suck at numbers. Got some E6000, and I had like buttons ready to go in my Etsy cart, and then I was like, you know what's gonna happen if you order those, and then you get magnets, and then you like them, then you're gonna try to start your own small business, and you don't have time for that. You don't even have time to stitch as it is. What are you gonna do? Then you're gonna end up with like 80 bazillion needle minders, and where are you gonna put all those? You only use one per project. So I got rid of them today, because I know that if I start this, it will never stop. So maybe I'll go to Joann's and get some magnets and like get some little charms or something from them, because then it's not as dangerous, because then I have to get up and go out and get them. Etsy, I can just order them and they come to me. Then the threads have been absolutely gorgeous. Liz did a great job picking them out. I love these. Now, this is, I think this was this morning. This is Old Glory from the Gentle Arts Sampler. It says it's a limited edition, but I remember buying this. I don't know, maybe they discontinued it. But I have this in a Bent Creek kit that I bought like 5 years ago when my sister got married, and I never stitched hers. I never stitched wedding row for her. Seems like a little bit late now, but I'm pretty sure Old Glory was one of those colors, but it is gorgeous. I don't know if it'll come through, but it looks like denim is really what it looks like. It is beautiful. I love it. And then this is my first ever Northern Lights silk. I think it's MPI Silks, but this is a different brand of it. It's variegated. And it's marine blue. And I don't know if the variegation's going to show up. It's very, very subtle. You really have to actually look at it to see that it's variegated. There it is, a little bit. You can see it. It is beautiful and so soft. So soft. And then, I don't think, unless it was included in that Moab Night box, which might have, it's right here. Oh, and I also got the surprise birthday thingy, but it's been a little bit, so I don't know what I have and what I don't have, to be honest, or when I received things and what box they came in. It's been 4 months. Yes, okay. So the Moab Night included my first ever Dinky Dyes, and it's a silk at that. And then in our Patriot box, we got a red. It's called Heartthrob, and it is beautiful. I love it. I'm excited. I'm really enjoying it. I really am. I absolutely do not regret this at all. Plus, the countdown boxes, well, and Stitchy box in general, allows me to try and see things that I can't otherwise because I don't have an LNS. My closest LNS is 2 hours away, and with some pretty funky hours. So, not real close or convenient. So if I can try new things and see them, the beads, because I think that was in the Bling It Up in the Moab Night box. Delicas, like I don't know, I don't like ordering stuff that I haven't worked with before. I don't mind ordering stuff from like fabrics and things like that because it's fabric. I mean, it's kind of, you can totally mess it up, but I mean, you can't actually mess up the base. The colors might be different than expected, but it's still fabric and it will still be stitched on. Beads, new threads, shipping costs. I'm actually thinking of doing a VIP stitching membership and see how that goes. But I already resubscribed to Stitchy Box and all 4 add-ons. Oh, I did Stitch It Up too in the original one. It's just not in my box. Stitch It Up, Bling It Up, Thread It Up, and there's a 4th one now, but I can't remember. So I've resubscribed. As far as books go, I've been reading a lot. And I don't know that, I just finished the 10th Jack Reacher novel. The hard way. And it was a little different. I enjoyed it, as I do most of Lee Child's books. They're definitely adventure-y. Action-y, not so much adventure-y. That was the wrong word to use. I just started Empire of Storms by Sarah J. Maas. I have the audio as well as the Kindle book. So I am pretty excited to start that. It is the 5th book in the Sarah J. Maas Throne of Glass series. Those are all very good. Oh, I read The Black Book by James Patterson and David Ellis. Very good. And set in Chicago, so I knew a lot of the places that they were at. And that can sometimes make a difference. 16 Things I Thought Were True by Janet Gertler as a young adult. And it's about a girl who is sort of discovering her own truths. It was a surprise book for me. I've read Gertler's books before, and I didn't really particularly love them, but this had an interesting premise. And I borrowed it from my library, and I stayed up until 2 o'clock in the morning, bawling, and I loved every minute of it. It was so good. So good. It was a fun, sweet road trip young adult contemporary book until it wasn't, and then it broke my heart and I loved it. I also read The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. That is a very hyped book right now. It's a young adult. It's an own voices author, which means that it is a person writing a character that is their own. So in this particular instance, Angie Thomas is a black author writing about a black girl, and she's growing up in what people would refer to as the ghetto. But she attends a private school because her mom and her dad bust their butt to put them into a private school. And it's about her having two different I don't want to say personalities, but she feels like she has two different selves. She has her white school, private school self, and then she has her at-home self. And in the beginning of the book, I'm not giving anything away, it's the whole premise of the book. She is in the car with her friend that she's known since babyhood. They took baths together, kind of thing. He gets pulled over, and he's doing everything that the police officer tells him to, and he gets shot and killed. And it's the after effects of that, and it was so eye-opening. And yeah, it was good. I recommend everybody reading it, just because, I don't know, I think it's important that we read other people's points of view. I think that empathy is something that we really lack in today's world, in the world in general, to be honest. And to see something from somebody else's point of view, I don't think has ever hurt anybody. So that's where I'm at on books, because I just went through my Goodreads list to see what I've read since we last talked. The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas was really good. 16 Things I Thought Were True were really good. And I just read The Hard Way by Jack Reacher, and also The Black Book by David Ellis and James Patterson. It was a quick read. So that's generally all I ever talk about. I know I normally do some shout outs, but I haven't been watching very much FlossTube since I fell off. So the only other thing that I have to show you, and I'm quite proud of it, is that I have taught myself how to knit through a Knit Picks has 3 beginner starter kits, and it's great because it gives you the yarn, the needles, the instructions. You can YouTube anything that you don't understand. And I have done what was the first? Oh, dishcloths. Dishcloths was the first kit, and then a scarf was the second kit, and then a hat was the third kit. And I don't have my hat, or I'd show you. Creeps my husband out. I don't know why. But then I learned how to, well, I taught myself really from YouTube. Boy, this got unwound. This is the softest yarn, and of course I don't have anything to tell you what it is because I didn't plan this out. But I am knitting a scarf, and it is a variegated yarn, and it is cabling, and it is the first time that I've ever cabled, and it is the softest. Do you see how? Yeah, it's a bulky thread. It's a bulky yarn. I do know that much. It's bulky, and it's in fairy tale. I can't remember, but I got it at Hobby Lobby, so it's not like I ordered it online from anybody. This is Hobby Lobby yarn, and I just love the variegation, and it's got sparkles in it. And this is not for myself. This is actually a Christmas gift. Hopefully I get my knitting bug back. This may be what I need to take when we go on the weekends instead of cross stitch, to be honest. We do a lot on the weekends in the summer because winter in Illinois does not allow you to do a lot. I also started a mystery knit along, which is no longer really a mystery because it's done, but I'm not. And I'm being realistic, and I'm gonna be spoiled, so I just went ahead and looked, and it'll be a great shawl once I get there. But like, just like with my cross stitching back in April or end of March. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of this stack so I can see where it's at. There we go. First time using knitting cables. First time, well, I wouldn't say first time switching off colors, but first time using a fingering weight. And I haven't threaded in any of my ends. And I'm off horribly. I don't know how, but that is the Mystery Point Knit Along. I think it's on Instagram and Ravelry. And as you can see, this is supposed to be my center, and as you can see, it's not really my center. But that's where I am. It's my first shawl. So, and we had to do we had to start it with a garter tab, which is pretty normal for shawls. I am understanding. And it took me a week to get that right. Not a patient person, guys. I was about ready to throw this thing across the room. I was over it. So, I think that's all I have to share with you today. I am going to wrap this up and then listen to it again to make sure that I didn't stumble, or, well, I stumbled a lot, but just to make sure that it doesn't sound crazy and that I didn't ramble too long in certain parts and that I don't need to really edit much, but I don't think that I will. And then I'm gonna upload it, and then I'm gonna stitch. I wanna work on my Haid something fierce. So that's what's gonna happen. So I don't know if I'll be back in a week. I'd like to say that I'm going to be, but I'm not. I'm trying to be realistic here. My summers are kind of short on extra time for floss tube, but I'm gonna try to make it work. And it will either be next week or in 2 weeks. I don't think I wanna go a full month, because then there's just way too much to talk about. So we'll see. But until then, happy stitching, and I hope you guys enjoy your week.